Alright guys, Hayzink here, welcome back to the channel for another Street Fighter Duel video. And I didn't think I was going to be doing this one. I was getting ready to go and chillax and do some HWA, which is obviously launched today. But they've done what I thought they were maybe going to do, but it's slightly different, which is better. It's time to help build the Ultimate Turtle team. Mikey and Leo are back to help Donnie and Raph take on Shadloo with the rest of the Street Fighters. During the last week of the TNMT event, Michelangelo and Leonardo will both be added to the event summon TNMT returns. It's a chance to acquire all 4 turtles, team them up to take the fight to defeat their enemies. We hope you have a shell of a time. So you can see if you look up top, this banner has returned with fresh pity. Okay, so this has actually been reset. Okay, so if you only need one Michelangelo, or if you only need one Leonardo, 50 summons you're guaranteed to get that one that you need, which makes things a lot easier. That does, I mean, not necessarily than getting a block. Either way, this is pretty good, right? So you've got the opportunity to get these guys again, exactly the same rates as before. So obviously running alongside this, you've got that, which you can get these guys. What I would say to you, priority, right? Absolute priority, 100% priority here, right? Now, I've said to you before who I believe long term is probably going to end up being the most viable turtle because of long term viability of support units is probably going to be Donatello. But when it comes down to it, you want to get yourself Leonardo, okay? So if you have diligently sat on your tickets, okay, so that you can weigh up exactly what you want to do, you want to get this guy. Right, hands down, there was a debate at the start. Could Raphael have been better than him? We had to wait and see, right? Raphael, in my opinion, is not better than him, right? Raphael's a good unit, but for Raphael to excel, you basically want to have these guys, okay? You want this guy. Mikey, not so much, right? Mikey's okay, I suppose. He's like a discount Trendy Ryu. He's not as good as Trendy Ryu, okay? I thought maybe at the start he could have been as good as Trendy Ryu, but he's not, right? He's not. Trendy Ryu is a much better unit. This guy is probably the second best DPS in the game, right? Vega is still the best DPS, right? Hands down, he is. I don't care what anyone wants to say, he is. Leonardo is very close for bossing, okay? Maybe sometimes he's better for bossing, but he's not better for PvP. Vega is better for PvP. But that being said, the way that things are lining up now for bossing, you basically want to have a Fire Adon team, a Leonardo Turtles team, and a Vega team. If you don't have those 3 things, you're not going to compete. You're not going to get yourself up to the top. Now that's only going to really appeal to a smaller subsection of the player base, okay? Because some of the player base, if you can't compete, you can't compete, right? It's as simple as that. But if you're someone who is already competing, if you are in the realms of being able to get points and you don't have a Turtles team with Leonardo as your DPS, you are going to struggle to reach those rankings, okay? And you will have to do it, right? You're going to have to get yourself Leonardo, okay? So if you've sat on your tickets and you've saved, or you've just been waiting to see what should I do, what's the best thing to do, it's very difficult for me to say to you, target this unit, but don't target this unit, because unfortunately the way the banners work, I would say that on both of the banners, there's a unit that I think that you could potentially skip, right? Now Raphael, again, if you've got all the turtles, then 100% I think you should be getting yourself a copy of Raphael. 100% if you've got all the turtles. But if you were just picking and choosing, and you knew you were only going to get, say, Leonardo and Donatello, then would you need Raphael as much? Maybe not, maybe not. Although he's still going to be good for Leonardo regardless. I just feel like it's really difficult to tell you what to prioritise here, because I feel like if you got Donatello and Raphael but you had no Leonardo, it's not that great, because Donatello is, in my opinion, the pickup of the whole celebration, because he will slot into non-Turtles teams, right? But on a Turtles team he is fantastic. Leonardo, if you summon on him, you would get him, but you would also be getting Michelangelo as well. While I think Michelangelo is quite easy to skip, to be honest, he's not a bad unit. So I guess if we look at it from a pure value proposition, then this is probably the better banner to go on from a pure value proposition, because Michelangelo and Leonardo, they're going to work. Michelangelo really just does serve the purpose of being a bit of a meat shield, though. That's his problem, in my opinion. Whereas on this banner, Donatello's going to work wherever you put him. Raphael will work for you in other teams, he's just not as good unless he's on a Turtles team. So to me, there's slightly less value there. So unless you've saved an absolute ton of tickets and you're now like, yes, happy days, I can go back in and I can get everyone, then I honestly, I'm leaning towards this might be the better banner for you to go on, right? I'm leaning towards it, because as much as I like Donatello, and I think Donatello probably is the best pickup, if you've got yourself the Pizza EX, or if you've got your Virgil EX, you can live without him, because you can use those EXs to essentially replicate what he's going to do for you, right? And you can just run someone else in that support slot. Whereas with this guy, you're wanting that DPS power. So I'm going to make the hard call and say that I think this is the banner to go on if you've saved. I think this is the banner to go on. I think Leonardo's the unit to use your Starlight on. I think that's the call, to be honest. You've still got a week left. Obviously, if you've been burning through your tickets already, you're going to be like, oh my god, what have I done? I didn't think these guys were going to come back. I did say that there was a chance that they would come back. That's all I can say. I mean, I didn't know for a fact they would come back, but I did certainly think that there was a chance that they could come back. And they have. So if you're someone who has sat diligently on your tickets, just waiting to see, and you thought to yourself, I'm going to summon at the last minute, guess what? You're winning. You've won. You've got a shot at getting the cream of the crop, the picks of the bunch. It's just a shame that ideally you probably would have wanted Leonardo and Donatello on the same banner. If Leonardo and Donatello were on the same banner, that would have been an absolute godsend and you could have cleaned up. But you've got to pick your battles, and if you're someone who knows that they can only afford to go all the way on one, I'd go for this one. I would go for this one. Did they do a grant, by the way? Did they reissue a grant? You think they would have reissued a grant? Bringing them back? Surprised that they've not reissued a grant. That would have been interesting if they'd done that. But the only turtle that I'm not going to have at SSS 5 is Mikey. I've got him at SSS 4. I'm not going to get him any further. I've got no intention of, even if I manage to finish off the one Donatello I need before, and I've still got tickets left, I think I'll just sit on the tickets, to be honest. I don't really care about finishing Michelangelo. I mean, I guess maybe for the car would be worth it, but I would have to do 100 summons to guarantee myself a copy of Mikey, and I'm not going to do it. So that's it. The turtles, all of them, are available now. Get summoning, be happy. Peace.